Alright, what's up, Patreon? Man, I just shot a 20-minute video for you guys, and I'm redoing it because I didn't like it. I thought the content was good, but I was out rucking again, and I don't think you guys want to listen to me breathe heavy. If you do, that's weird. Yeah, just... there's no sense in trying to kill two birds with one stone, like to go out and get my PT and try and talk to you guys at the same time, because it's not working. It's not good. So I apologize for the videos that have already posted like that, and I'm not going to do that again. Maybe walk-in talks, but not while I'm trying to actually get my heart rate up, because it's not good content. So we're going to briefly reshoot the video that I just shot. John Chapman asked, what about commercial rifles versus military spec rifles, high dollar rifles versus low dollar rifles for SHTF, the end of the world as we know it? It's a good question. We've been kind of dancing all over rifles and carbines and scopes and ammunition here lately, so we're just going to go with this one for right now as well. So you guys know that typically speaking, I run my Brown Spec Ops Manufacturing 5.56, okay? This is not that. This is a DPMS. This rifle I bought from a guy who I knew, who's a buddy of mine, good buddy of mine actually, and he was having some hard times. Said, hey, I'll sell you a rifle for 500 bucks. Okay. So I got this rifle, a padded case, 3 30-round magazines, and some of his 5.56 ammo, and this ProTech dot sight that's on there for 500 bucks. And this gun had less than a full magazine through it. Now, this ProTech, I'm looking at the dot right now. It's Chinese. I have always thought to myself, I'm gonna replace that. And you know what, truthfully, I haven't needed to. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. I bought this gun probably 2 years ago, and in that 2 years I put probably about 4,000-ish rounds through it. Maybe 10 ammo cans. It's a great knock-around gun. I mean, great. And when I say knock-around gun, I mean, I can just take this thing and it's a blast. Like, ha ha ha, see what I did there? It's tight, it's easy, it's lightweight, right? And it shoulders real well. And I'm not a big fan of the short handguards because I have big, long arms. So a lot of the time what I'll do is grab here like this, get underneath the mag well, right? And this is my hold, so forth, so on. Flip the safety, go hot, make holes. But this gun, this $500, $550 retail gun is great. It's truthfully great. I was kind of an elitist snob when I had the opportunity to buy this. I was like, man, I don't know if I want a DPMS in the stable. But he needed the money, and it's hard to turn down 500 bucks for all this. So I gave him 500 bucks. And I'm happy to report, I love this gun. I've had a blast owning this gun, shooting this gun. This is our you picked the wrong house, homeboy, get out of it gun, one of. This is the AR for the house, you know, along with 12 gauge shotguns and pistols. Why are you in my hallway? And I mount a weapons light up here, so I can come over the top with my thumb, actuate the light. So if I need it, you know, come up, operate. Get out of my hallway. All right. So anyway, 500 bucks. Now my Brown rifle is a Spec Ops Manufacturing upper 5.56 chambering M4 profile, 16-inch barrel with a midway M16 bolt in it and a BCM Gunfighter 2 charging handle. The tolerances of all of that along with a Runner Guns McKinney Texas lower with a single stage, pretty dang good trigger in it, and A2 furniture, you know, for the buttstock pistol grip. Mil spec, that's a mil spec. This is a commercial specification. So the parts are slightly different, but that gun cost me twice what this did. I could have gotten 2 of these for one of those, and I love that gun. But I've had a couple of weapons related stoppages with that gun because the tolerances are so tight. If I don't keep it extremely well lubed, it's a DI gun, direct impingement gun, as most AR-15s are, especially the value options are all DI guns. But as I've run that gun, I've had a couple stoppages. I've never had a weapons related stoppage out of this gun. And they have similar rounds counts, both in the 4,000-ish range, question mark. There comes a point where you just stop counting. Like, it's a lot. It's not a ton, but it's a lot. So that gun, military specifications, super tight tolerances, great gun, very accurate, generally speaking reliable. I mean, listen, over the course of 4,000-ish rounds, yeah, you're gonna have a couple stoppages. It's gonna happen. Now getting back to value AR-15s, the DPMS Oracle, the Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2, that gun is a $500 gun. It doesn't have this, which is a dust cover, and I believe it doesn't have a forward assist, but it might, I don't remember. The Ruger AR556, it does have forward assist and it does have a dust cover, and all of the military specification guys will tell you if you don't have either, you're a total poser. You need to stay home. Okay. A lot of rifles, including this one, until I bought it, live underneath guys' beds or in their closets, and they never get used. So a lot of that tactical elitism is angry words from the internet emanating out of other people's mouths. So be aware of that. Now, let's see. Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2, DPMS Oracle, which is this gun here, the Ruger AR556, the Palmetto State Armory Patriot rifle. That Patriot rifle has super tight tolerances. Hayden, who, if you guys follow the YouTube channel, Hayden bought one of those a while ago, 6 months or so ago, and boy, is it a tight rifle. I'm very impressed for the tolerances for 500 bucks. Great rifle. Very, very, very well built rifle for what it is, for a $500 rifle. Now, the interesting point here, other than the fact that you have the commercial versus mil spec, if you buy a commercial rifle, and do this, Google is your friend on this, because depending on the rifle and who built it and what year, and was it a make at home or did it come from a factory, and if so, whose factory, and then who ended up buying that factory, and it gets complicated. So Google your stuff, find out, is it mil spec or is it commercial spec? Either one is fine. Either one is fine. Again, this is a commercial specification rifle, and this rifle has beat the pants off of a lot of other rifles on range day. Just bang, 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 as fast as you can go, drop another mag, hit the release, go to town, right? Great rifle, great rifle. To the point where I'm embarrassed to say that I was afraid to bring this into the stable, because I mean, I'm glad I did. It's a great rifle, and it's lightweight. This is my wife's gun. If things ever get bad, this is for Harmony. And it's like 7.5 pounds, weighs nothing. Shoulder's real easy. It's, it's tight, it's light, it's great. So get the parts kit, commercial or military specification, that goes with your rifle, and do the Google search to find that out. Some people, Clint Smith from Thunder Ranch being one of them, are advocates of, if you find a rifle you like, buy 3 of them, 2 to shoot and 1 for spare parts. If you have the cash flow to do that, go for it. But I think you should have spare parts kits laying around regardless. They're not that much. What are they, $40 or so? So it doesn't hurt to have 1 or 2. I mean, have 1 mil spec kit and 1 commercial spec kit just laying around. excuse me, put them on a shelf for when you need them. Now, a real interesting question could be the concept of retail rifle arbitrage and or where is the value, because it really depends on what you're trying to do. Some of these military specification rifles and even commercial specification, but custom rifles are very expensive. Very expensive. You know, you're talking $2,000 to $3,000 for a gun. Let's all be honest here, a gun that more or less does what this gun does. Now this gun, accuracy wise, will shoot these 62 grain green tips into an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter at 100 yards. Now 62 grain green tips are not the most accurate round out there because they have a steel core in the tip, and that steel core inside of that copper isn't always on center. So because it's not on center, that can cause the round to do this a little bit in the air, and that affects accuracy. So out of this gun, shooting that ammunition, inch and a quarter, shooting 55 grain, you know, just FMJ, 3/4 of an inch. I want to say 3/4 of an inch-ish to 1 inch. It's an MOA gun for $500 with a good shooter. So, and I mean the trigger, look man, the trigger is, you're not gonna write home about how awesome this trigger is, but it is good enough. So again, a lot of people tend to blame their equipment when they can't shoot. I think it's great that you learn to shoot the roughest, hardest, most difficult to shoot equipment out there, and then if you come across something real nice, you should have no excuses about being able to shoot that. So, I mean, I'm the guy who can take a stock Glock and shoot next to competitive shooters and do pretty damn good, to the point where they start asking questions of me. This is truth, this has happened, we'll talk about it another time. A stock Glock off the shelf rather than a $1,500 to $3,000-ish race gun. So I think you should be able to make hits that count with your $500 rifle first, and then if you want to get a $2,500 rifle, go for it. Now the other thing, there we go, stretch the back out. The other thing is, if you have a team or are building a team or building out loadouts or anything like that, what makes more sense, buying one $2,500 rifle or 2 or 3 $500 rifles? Because here's the deal, $500 rifle, let's just say you get this rifle, okay? Or we'll keep it all in the family. You go to Palmetto State Armory and you get a Patriot rifle for $500. While you're there, you buy a rifle shot. You buy one of their daily deals, and you get a Vortex Spark II optic, which this is not, but this is where it would go, and 10 30-round PMags for $200. Now you're at $700, and then you buy 1,000 rounds of 5.56 ammo for $300. Okay, so now you're at $1,000. Throw a sling on that baby, $20. Just call it $1,000. You have a rifle set up for $1,000. So which is better to have? Especially entry level, which is better to have? 2 or 3 of these, or 1 super ultra tactical cool gun? 2 or 3 of these plus 20 or 30 magazines plus 2,000 to 3,000 rounds of ammo plus the optics plus the slings, 2 complete setups, which to me, 1,000 rounds of ammo and 10 magazines. I really like 10 plus 1, but you're gonna get one that comes with the gun anyway, so you have 11 mags. So 2 complete setups, the rifle, 11 magazines, 1,000 rounds of ammunition, an optic and a sling. And you know, if you don't like an optic, just put M-Bus on there or whatever, you know, backup iron sights, whatever floats your boat, okay? But call it $1,000-ish. What's your money better spent on? A complete setup for $1,000 or half a rifle for $1,000? I think that's a really interesting question, and it's going to be a different answer for different people, because some guys, I've been in them, have rooms that look like an armory. They already have 40 of these, set up, ready to go. They're all zeroed, and they're all Colt 6920 LEs, which are phenomenal weapons, which was recently posted a link on here to one of those guns for $800, which if that sale's still going on, get on it, because that's a great rifle. It's probably my favorite AR-15 platform, truthfully, the 6920. All that being said, should you buy a commercial specification or a military specification? Whatever floats your boat. What parts should you stock? The ones that go to your rifle. Does it matter if your rifle is a military spec and all your buddies are commercial spec? In the big picture, it could go both ways. I would say in the micro, no, it doesn't matter. Have a spare parts kit laying around, okay? That makes it matter a lot less. What's the best use of your money? Buying one cheap rifle that will smack steel at 300 yards with a dot sight all day long, or 7 yards with a dot sight all day long for $500, $1,000 for the whole setup. Or, hey, and let's be honest, a lot of Daniel Defense's offerings are not that accurate. Noveski, they're accurate, but they're friggin' expensive. Excuse my language. But they're very proud of their stuff. POF makes nice stuff. Extremely expensive for what you're getting. Why? It's bragging rights. You know what's real bragging rights to me? And again, you guys do you, but you asked the question of me, so this is my answer. Real bragging rights to me. See the steam coming off of me over my shoulder? Real bragging rights to me is that you can engage targets accurately with a cheap rifle. I think that's bragging rights. As Fingernail says, the Marines qualify with iron sights at 500 meters. That's bragging rights. It is. So, for me, in my situation, if I'm going to spend a lot of money on a rifle, it's going to be a bolt action with a big old telescope on top of it, and we're going to work on putting all of our rounds inside of this at 700 meters. That's fun. That's a good spend of several $1,000s, because you can get these for next to nothing right now, and I think you should. That's what I would do. But dance with the one that brought you. So if you've already got a super expensive AR, good, go learn to shoot it. If you got a cheap AR, go learn to shoot it. I don't care what you do, as long as you get them out from underneath your bed and go give them a workout, get training. There's the other side of that. If you got $2,500 to spend on a rifle, how about you spend $1,000 on a complete setup and $1,000 on training? Yeah. So that's my thoughts. I feel much better about this video than I did about the last one, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I hope, Mr. John Chapman, that answered some of your questions as to how I feel about commercial spec versus mil spec, cheap rifles, expensive rifles, the AR-15 platform in general, and the DPMS Oracle in specific. Again, to recap some good budget rifles: the Smith & Wesson M&P Sport II, the Ruger AR556, the DPMS Oracle, and the Palmetto State Armory Patriot rifle are all right in the neighborhood of $500 to $550. They're all good rifles, and I can tell you from personal experience, I've shot all of them except the Ruger. I hear great things about the Ruger, but any of those three, I'd be happy to hand to my wife and say, protect the kids, I gotta go over here and do a thing. And right now, I do say that with this, which is a DPMS Oracle. And, I mean, look at it. It ain't a bad looking gun. You could even do this. It looks super ultra tactical. Yeah, shalom guys. Love y'all.